Hello and welcome. Good evening to our monthly gathering where we're here to talk about Cancer season and the moon energies that it brings. I'm Zane, a rising Virgo, Sun Pisces, Capricorn moon, here to give a practical view of those energies in the earthy first impressions of Virgo. And tonight, joining me is Rochelle. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me. I am a Capricorn Sun, a rising Pisces, and Libra Moon, here to bring you the ability to merge with Cancer season and to have the compassion for your self love. There's this excitement that I have because of where it's affecting my chart. Let us know where is Cancer season affecting your chart, and if you don't know, let us know down below and we'll help you out with that. I am I am looking at my notes and I am excited about this gathering tonight, being able to help others really deal with the emotional waters. Yeah, especially being a rising Pisces. All right, Zane, where do you want to head next?
Well, let's just get into the part of what is Cancer season and that sense of how it's inviting us to soften and nurture, reconnect with what truly nourishes us as an individual. As the sun is moving into Cancer, we can call inward toward our emotional wisdom, family, home, intuition, and the sacred practice of self-care. As this new solar season will be coming and starting on June 21st, and it's gonna last until July 22nd. So that those themes of home, family, and that self-care, nurturing self will be highlighted during the time period of June 21st to July 22nd. So yeah. Yeah.
I think there is this connection with cancer and the mothering, and I probably why I get excited because it's in my fifth house, and so it just naturally feels, yeah, that homecoming feeling. It'll be a one energy day that the cancer season does start. So there's this real connection to real beginnings, new beginnings. What is it that we're wanting to start? What are we wanting to create? And I love these questions that you have helping us to really settle into cancer season and these opening reflection questions that you've created here. What makes me feel safe? Where is safety in my life? Where do I belong? What emotional needs require attention? And how can I create a stronger sense of home within myself? These are potent questions. You may want to grab your journal throughout cancer season or even start before cancer season starts. This week is a great week, even leading into next week, being able to look at how would you answer these questions based on where you were at. You want to go into those key, you kind of covered these keywords a little bit.
Yeah, the key words there, but we also have that sense of energy that wasn't spoken about, which is Cancer and how it's a cardinal energy. And cardinal energy is this sense of starting and going and getting that project started. Earlier in the year, the cardinal energy that we first felt was Aries. And this Aries energy is about initiation through action, where Cancer is more of that initiating through feeling and that sense of emotions. So again, coming back to those questions of within that thought process of how might Cancer be sparking emotions and creating emotions and feelings that might make us feel safe? Where do I belong? Within that sense of what emotional needs require attention, right? So that
Mm-hmm.
sense of starting, but in more of the emotional field and playing compared to the physical.
Well, and it's interesting too because Aries season rules the head. So if you think about the cardinal season of spring time here in the northern hemisphere, was like we're in the head, we're in the face, we're in the identity, and now we're moving down into the heart space, into the chest, into the compassion part of where our heart is. And Cancer is about the chest. It is about, I guess, that feminine part of the breasts when it comes to motherhood, the nurturing, the protection, the sensitivity, that soft landing space. And then if we think about it from a masculine perspective, it's that strength of the chest, of the pecs, the pectoralis major clavicular and the major major sternal. Being able to think about that, bringing in that embodiment, that softness of feeling sensitive but yet feeling protected at the same time. This is an interesting time we're in humanity, as well as we're approaching Cancer season. There's going to be some needs for us to look into our intuition, to have that sense of guidance. And like Zane was saying, we've had that beginning feeling in Aries season in the head. Now it's time for us to move into the heart space, into that knowingness within ourselves, figuring out how to create that safety within self. And maybe there is a sense of safety already within self, and we want to hear about that. On that note, I think there's a few more details we might want to cover, but I feel like we should probably pop over to our group that's here with us and check in and have a nice little conversation around safety and what that looks like, and being able to have them share. That's something that we love to do here, is being able to create community time and to have conversations, not so much about how much information can we share with you, but how do we feel about the little tidbits that we share here. I just absolutely love being able to connect with others. And even though we're using sacred technology inside of Zoom, it feels like we're together in real time, being able to share and talk about something that here at the Brew we're so passionate about. And that's being able to use the frequencies to our benefit, and how do we use it to create some sense of safety. So it's something as simple as a soft, warm blanket, a warm towel after a shower, or being able to lay in the sun, on the sand, feeling the earth, playing in our gardens, checking up on our seeds, and having this space. It was really being shown to how Zane and I have been able to work together as a mom and son team to create safety for others to show up as they are, and to feel that connection of everything is okay and welcomed. We shed some tears and some laughs behind the scenes. And what really came up as we were sharing and thinking about this and hearing others, I had a moment of self reflection of our moon series that we did earlier in the year, and being able to hold space with the moon energy. And Zane, why is the moon energy so important during Cancer season?
Well, because the moon rules Cancer. And so it's that sense of where the moon is, it's influencing Cancer no matter what to a certain degree. And so we're going to feel that Cancerian energy throughout our chart, no matter if we are a Virgo moon to a Pisces moon to a Libra moon to a Capricorn moon. We're going to have that sense of Cancer energy to it, in that sense of emotions and feeling and nurturing. And so within it, our class series was looking at how we can flow with the moon, ebb and flow, because there's a lot of the going back and forth with emotions. One day we might be really passionate, outgoing, confident. The next day we might feel withdrawn and needing like recovery time and that sense of maybe to shed a few tears. So it's like that sense of knowing when not just the menstruation cycle, but like the sense of our emotional cycle that we might go through of, oh, this day I might have a bit more of a brain fog because I need to process and deal with emotions. Or I might need to find a physical outlet, kind of like maybe boxing or a jog, maybe taking a swim with the warmer weather. So, yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I like that so much. And For a side note, when you mentioned the menstruation cycle, your brother and I had a really deep conversation. This wasn't any new information. And let us know down below too if this is new information. Men go through that cycle in a 24-hour period. So throughout the day, there is that real heightened needing to get things done depending on someone's work schedule or how they're working. Actually, I want to be able to talk to you about that. Maybe we need to make another recording separately. Let us know down below too, for those that are night shift workers, that how your cycle and your diurnal goes to nocturnal. So you go from a day walker to a night walker in a way, and how that might look for you. So back to what I was saying is that women will have that 28 to 30-day cycle depending on where their cycle is at, and then men have that emotional and hormonal cycle within a 24-hour period. So being able to be connected with that, we're always being affected by the moon no matter what our gender is. And then of course when we also have the connection to the sun, some cultures it's switched. I've learned that just recently. And so however this might land for you, we want to hear from you and create more conversation and open dialogue, just like we do here every month within our brew gathering. So there is this part about water. Let's talk about water for a moment. You mentioned tears. I want to say that there is Dr. Emoto, his work studies water and how it holds memory. And something that's really cool is that depending on what emotions we have, it will hold a different chemical compound and hormonal compound in our tears. So there's been some research and some study around happy tears have a different pattern in them when they're looked at under a microscope compared to anger or frustration or sadness or deep grief and sorrow. So it's amazing how magical our bodies are when it comes to holding back our emotions, how it can be damaging, but what can happen is the magic where we can, when we're releasing them and letting them go, that we can be almost like detoxing. Actually, it really is like detoxing and letting things go that no longer serve us in the body. So remember, during Cancer season, it's a lot to do with water, a lot to do with emotions and our intuition. And there could be some ancestral remembrance as well, because a lot to do with Cancer is about our family ties, our home life, and being able to give ourselves permission to create safety in uncertain times. There is one more note that we have here, and I loved how you worded this, that it was Cancer's a symbolism of the cosmic mother. So taking some time for us to allow the connection to the sense of motherhood, whether it's our actual maternal mother or the lineage or just the places where we feel cared for and nurtured. Is there anything you want to add to that, Zane?
Mm, no, not immediately. My main brain processing has gone to the Capricorn full moon and the full moon in Capricorn, however which way you want to say that.
I like it. It's a play with words. Let us know down below. How do you want to say it? Is it the Capricorn full moon? Or is it the full moon in Capricorn? Or is it that you come into calling it the buck moon? Or calling it also, there was one more, one that I had heard about the this full moon. Buck makes sense though. Capricorn having the horns definitely makes sense. Let us know what other names you might have for this full moon at this time of year. So it'll be happening on June the 29th, and the potency of this full moon, it is happening on a 9 energy day. And the 9 has all about endings and closures, celebrations, just like a full moon does as well. What are we going to be letting go of? What are we going to be celebrating? This is what we want to know from you. Zane, you want to go over the themes of this moon?
So those themes that we're looking at are work-life balance, bringing in those Capricorn work themes, boundaries, maturity and accountability, releasing outdated definitions of success, aligning ambition with emotional well-being. So that sense of how do I succeed doesn't need to look like a specific way when it comes to success? Does my ambition need to fit a mold, right? So that sense of what is good for my well-being when it comes to success, when it comes to work, right? That sense of finding those kind of balance in between those Cancer energies and Capricorn energies of emotional well-being, self-care, but then also work life and success and career.
And for those moms out there, work life might be motherhood. And I just want to speak to that because this really impacts my capacity of motherhood and being able to show and share it as a sense of a choice. You know, we're raising the next generation. This is a potent place for us to be with this full moon and being able to celebrate that fullness of what motherhood can bring. So, with that, I really would love to share a couple of practices, some rituals that can really bring us back into alignment with this full moon. Being able to look at what deserves recognition. What deserves recognition? And I'm going to just leave it there and keep it really, really simple. Where in your space needs recognition? Where in your life can you celebrate and look at the things that you have achieved for yourself based on your own beliefs, based on your own connections, not necessarily about looking outside and doing the comparison. I really would love for when we get to our body practice that this body practice that we'll get into helps to bring you back to your own self, put those blinders up, and to be focused on an inward level and to really allow that recognition for self. And then for those moms that are out there right now, being able to teach our children to have self recognition as opposed to exterior validation. This is something that is really, really important. This is how we can have that autonomy and how we can have the compassion for that sense of self, so we're not looking outside of ourselves for recognition. This can be really damaging and stopping the ability of being able to build self-esteem and confidence from within. I'm
Yes,
excited. So,
which I feel
Mark,
like really ties into some of those themes within the new moon,
all right,
right?
mark your calendar for June the 29th. That will be the full moon in Capricorn, and that is at 4:57 p.m. I believe that's going to happen at a 7 degrees of Cancer and Capricorn. So again, there's that lessons, the learning, the embodiment of the body. So let's go, yeah, let's dig into the new moon in Cancer.
Yeah, that new moon in Cancer happening July 14th at 2:44 a.m., where the sense of it's bringing in that new energy within the new moon in Cancer, bringing a fresh emotional beginning and a chance to plant seeds for greater self-care, healing, and connection with what you're kind of saying of trying to find that balance within motherhood, parenthood, that sense of how to generate that self-care for another being, but then also for self too. And so that sense of coming to the themes of emotional renewal, family healing, self-nurturing practices, intuitive development, and creating a sanctuary within. So that idea of creating space for self that's maybe not a specific room. So then that that toddler doesn't come destroy your block tower.
Are you remembering? And those of you that aren't parents, this isn't to exclude you. This is also to include you of like parenting that inner child that you have, being able to nurture them, being able to understand also that our parents and the parents before us and the generations before us only did what they knew. So now what we can do is we can relearn and maybe even sometimes unlearn, since there will be some retrograde energy, some reflective energy that's in the atmosphere for us during Cancer season and during this full moon and this new moon, giving us permission to be able to say it ends and begins with me. how do I move forward with that? I was actually just having a really beautiful conversation with our pottery teacher, um, Zena. Zane's sister, my daughter, my youngest one, is starting to sell her pottery. And some of the things that I was hearing from her is that I really want her to have that inward validation and to feel that she's making things to sell for the collective, for a specific niche, and not being able to be looking at everyone else or outside of herself, that the pieces she's making she can feel confident in. And that's sort of what I was sharing with the pottery teacher. It was that this whole exterior validation comes from her, it comes from within her, and that it ends with me, that I don't have to carry that over for her. This is such a potent time for us to all look in within that worthiness of sense of self. I'm excited for this new moon that's happening for July the 14th at 2:44 a.m. It will be on a 4 energy day. So again, we have the full moon happening on a physical body day energy, and then we're also having this new moon and the physical body energy. So really looking at Cancer season about the physical body, giving ourselves that compassion to feel the energy of the emotions, to be able to ride the waves of the emotions, and trusting them, that we can not control them, but to have them help us navigate ourselves and our well being. I got really passionate about pottery for a moment, and my mind is like, it's time for me to go to the studio. But I want to be able to check in and find out from our members that are here with us in our gathering about some of the intentions they might be setting up. Before we do that, is there something that you want to bring forward before we head up? Maybe give them a prompt as well.
Mm, well, during this new moon, create those intentions around deepening trust with your intuition, strengthening your family relationships, and establishing those healthy emotional boundaries. That's a big one, I would say, is making sure that you are speaking up for what boundaries that come around your emotional well-being.
That's important. And then that you gave me the visual when you said that about the boundaries, is Cancer is depicted as the crab. And so immediately I was thinking about when we don't have those boundaries, we can get really pinchy and almost very hardened and very rigid. Or then if we don't have also the opposite of not having enough boundaries, we become soft to the point that we aren't able to hold anything anymore, and then become like really incapable of serving ourselves, let alone to serve others. So with that, let's set an intention together that we can be self-serving, that we can allow ourselves to, with this new moon energy on July the 14th, to really set those intentions, as Zane said, around emotional boundaries and what those feel like. And if there is any sort of extra support we can offer you, maybe it's just through these videos is enough. We do post on a regular basis on Facebook and social media where there are practices in the intermittent, on the daily, to be able to help you grow through and to apply those physical and emotional boundaries for your whole being wellness. My tongue tied almost got me there. With that, shall we head over to our group and check in and have a little community time?
Yeah. Welcome, and as we come to close to this recording segment and the evening for this gathering within Cancer season teaches that sense of vulnerability that is strength, feelings that aren't obstacles to outcome, as they are messengers guiding us back to what matters most. And so within it, we pick out body tools to help us support us as a collective, to support us through the solar season. And so for Cancer season, we have the stomach meridian picked out, within the sense of how we can nurture ourselves, but then also digest information, and then also those sense of emotional waves that will come through cancer season to support us. So as I pull it up, you want to kind of lead us through the body tool here and talk a little bit more about what the stomach meridian kind of supports us in for cancer season.
I do. I do. So sometimes we will pick it in a way that will flow with the season and it is in the same sort of energetics. This time, the reason where the stomach meridian is it's really that we're starting cancer season with an outward energy, a letting go energy. And so when it comes to the stomach meridian, you can see it's coming from the face and down the body out the second toe, as opposed to bringing energy into the body. So when we are looking at cancer season, we're really wanting to wash out the body, letting things out, getting things detoxing, and also taking time to see what have I been holding on that no longer belongs in the body. So collectively speaking, throughout cancer season, the stomach meridian is our go-to tool. It is earth-based energy, and it also helps us to with our vision, with our eyes. So it starts in our eyes, and when we're teaching this, we talk about starting at the eyes and washing the face and bringing the energy down the front of the body and out the second toe. The personal power, again, this metaphor as we're tracing the stomach meridian is really helping us in the conscious level of bringing forward anything that's hidden in the subconscious that's been holding us back from our personal empowerment. As Zane was talking about earlier, that it's important for us to be having emotional boundaries and boundaries around our emotional wellness. So again, tracing this meridian helps us with the face, our how do we come forward, where are we looking at, and also the vision that we're holding, both in the literal eyes in our capacity, but also in our manifestation and the things that we want to create and the vision we want to when we work with the new moon. So here's the question. As we are tracing this meridian, contemplate what can we let go of to increase our personal power. So as you're tracing this meridian down throughout the front of your body on both sides, taking some time to really look at what comes up to the surface that you might not thought of before as you trace this line. When you are tracing this line, as we've shared with before, it's really about going slow and feeling your physical body and the energy that's within it. And if you're new here, meridians are energy lines in our body that work like a backup generator for that organ system. So right now what we're working with is the stomach. Did I miss anything?
No, not that I can think of in this moment.
Hmm.
You covered that piece of how it's supporting us within that energy flow of how there's that sense of yin energy coming from the full moon and cancer season in general, but then stomach is that yang energy to help release it and generate new energy instead of trying to recycle what we already have. So,
That's a beautiful recap. Thank you so much for that.
yeah.
For those of you that this was the first time that you were here, let us know because we are welcoming in new people to our gathering. If you want to be able to join us, there is a link in our bio. I know Zane's really good at putting it down in the description as well. We meet the second Thursday of every month at 7 p.m. I guess we're staying in Pacific Daylight Time now, no longer shifting the clock, which I'm very happy about. And then part of what I shared with before is that we post regular information on both our Facebook and our Instagram. So if you're not following the Energetic Brew yet, please go on over and do that. You're helping yourself while helping others find us. We are really close to getting over 450 followers. We would love to be able to reach that 1,000 mark. So we're asking for your help. If you're wanting to have a reading or join our membership, the links are there as well. And with that, I'm so glad that you chose to spend time here with us. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and follow us for more. Stay tuned.
Yes. Have a great cancer season and rest of your night, day after this recording, and hope to see you next time.